Wachakina niglustanki oloa nung ahiana hodle wogalakina oleto hansika wogalakina o hey glustan ko what's well, at this time just trying to narrate as close as I can to my brother here what our agenda as who we are and how we do things, not so much properly but spiritually, so we can maybe gather ourselves, not completely, but somewhere to where we can adjust and feel comfortable. And the things that we do have in our everyday life is we have faith, not so much in ourselves as who we are, but faith in spirit. Because the fact that we try to speak this language I'm speaking now, and believe it or not, this is a part that don't come really easy for me. But I've been doing this for that many years. 15 years ago, you couldn't get me to come in the door. But today, I feel that this is part of my life to share with people that are willing to listen and also try to convey that message, the ways of our life, the ways of my people. And to me, that's something that's very special. Whatever it is that's happening in this life, these parts are not very easy for us to understand because things are changing like the time. And we try to, as much as we can, try to observe and try to gather bits and pieces. We can go on and on about different things that we understand how these people came to this country. But to me, there is a certain amount of significance to that that really doesn't make that much difference to us. Because regardless what happens, we are going to be the survivors. Spiritually, we are going to be the survivors. And to me, whatever is taken, it's immaterial, because we have the faith and confidence within ourselves to be strong, because this is what we work with. As I continuously express that part saying, we have the knowing system, not the believing system. To me, we are connected to this earth. Not so much negative, but positive. So with that in mind, everything becomes real more and more every day. As the elders talked about that many years ago, when this world is going to cleanse itself, we will know. Different things are going to happen. So my idea, the way I see, is the stone, the Tronkan Oyate, the stone people, is going to come back in view. That many years ago, they were the Stone Age people. That's going to come back into view from what I see. It's not so much the three-legged dog or the five-legged animal. That is no longer becoming strange to us. But when something is asleep for that long, when we feel in our mind that that's not going to come awake, that's the one that's going to let us know that it's here, it's time. So within that time, we can't say it's going to be that many years from now. But there is things happening. The white buffalo. Different things happening. The only way we're going to break this man's back is if we kill the buffalo. So the buffalo's coming back now. So those of us that speak the language, that live the culture, we can feel it. For you, it's just another animal. but for us, it's strength. It's something that we feel in our everyday life that is part of us. So at this time, my brother is going to say a prayer.
Oh. I heard to Gasla Kantika Namakanti, and Hatia will be out here that we all here falling to Kata, I too. When I took Kata Kam Bliliska, night to Ka at the Chinese community for quite to Gasla, and Mitaki Omasan Mitaki when Nick the Owners. Where there in the same constant Asia, but on a warm snow Zagan go to yet garnet united, yet go to Senator or Canila, Unila. Senator Monik the Wookica. Oh, that's it.
My brother, he hasn't seen my new drum yet. And he don't usually say too much to me. You know, he just says, hurry up. And he said, don't talk too long. And he said, that's the drum that Ringo Starr had. He said. They just don't let me up, you know. But that's okay. I enjoy it. I learned a lot of things from these guys. Be seated, please.
those of you that don't know me, that's good. No, I'm just kidding. My name is Avashihere Malapesh, Kills in the Fog. I told some of you the last time I spoke how I got that name. I don't want to go through that again. But my brother spoke of the white buffalo. My other brother spoke of peace, understanding. We've kept our ways. It wasn't easy. That's why you are here. Where the red earth mother is, the east will meet the west, and there the flower will bloom. There are some natives to this land long ago that they believe that some of the ancestors, our ancestors' spirits, will come back in a white person. Maybe this is so. There is the legend of the Rainbow Warrior. But be careful of the trickster. Make sure that this is in your heart. To us, the spiritual world is a reality. There are things that's happened to my brothers here that they cannot talk about because it is theirs. You wouldn't believe it anyway unless it has happened to you. There are things that happen to me. To us, we know why it happens. Others call it a miracle, or others call it a phenomenon. We call it reality. A lot of times, when the white man came over, they took us and they split us up. We had to fight for our territory because we were so crushed together. For grass for our horses, grass for our game, the buffalo, the elk, the deer. They pushed the Lakota, and the Dakota against the Rockies. They pushed them against us, the Crows, the Cheyennes, the Arapaho, Nez Perce, Assiniboine, Gros-Ventre. There's many of us. There were many of us before. But even then, when they took us with their loud guns, even then, we stuck to our traditions, to our way of life. And in the prophecies of our old ones, it is said, hang on to these, son. Because one day, this one that has come to kill you will come and seek your advice. The Maker will not let all of us leave this world. To us, there is no death. To us, we are not afraid of death. When we go the 4 seasons within our body, from our infancy, we know how to be patient. Through our youth, we know how to learn the lessons in reading the rocks, the trees, the wind, the eagle. We become one at a very early age with the Maker, Mother Earth, and us. We find peace in ourselves. We gain strength and knowledge, not to fight our enemy, our brother, but to fight our greatest enemy, ourselves. This is how we grew through the youth. Then we come to adulthood. We come to this adulthood. We had to protect our villages. We had to protect our grazing for our animals. We had to protect our families and our young ones and our old ones. And we listened to the old ones so that we would know our ways. We have done this forever. And when we became an elder, we sat there with our pipe and our tobacco, our pemmican and our dry meat. And we would sit in front of the lodge on our buffalo robe. And the young ones would come to us and say, "Old one, tell me that story about the time you saved the tribe from starving, our people from starving, when you single-handedly killed the buffalo and led them to it." And our hearts would soar. The Lakota, the crow, stand before you today. Listen to the drum is the heartbeat of Mother Earth. The white buffalo has changed the four colors of the children of Mother Earth: red, yellow, black, and white. We will always be here because we have never compromised. You will be there with us because you seek to learn. And I truly believe that the spirit of the ancient ones is within you and within your heart. I see it, and it makes my heart glad. I am proud to stand before you and talk to you and pray with you. Aho.
It's kind of an intermediate, kind of like a time when people can take their wind, maybe, and many things that I've been able to learn. Some of the things that I picked up along the way. Are some of the most simple things in life. But the good things that I picked up from your people is that the coffee breaks. I like that. I like that one. At 9 o'clock, at 3 o'clock. I like that. So those parts that I can adapt to and really learn to live with that one. Anytime when they gave me this sign, I like that one too. So I learned those sign language from you. Well. Hey, la, moya, yellow, hey, maya yellow, hey, okay, Hey.
Oh, Mitaki Asi, and I want to say thank you to each and every one of you here. Thank you, Monsieur Wolfla Chitila, Brother Wolfla Chitila. Oh, Wolfla Chitila. Thank you very much. Oh, I was told that they were going to come this, how do you call this place? Christian Unity or Unity Church. So I said, who am I going to baptize? If there's an opening, I'll baptize. I thank these people who allowed us to be here and to hear the greatest, the sacred mysteries. So I appreciate it, and I thank them. And all of you that are here come from all walks of life, and I know you're all educated, except me. So I'll thank you for that. And what we are going to hear about the Chanumpa and the medicine. So I'll try translate how the medicine work. A lot of people want to know about the medicine, and they want me hand the medicine in a silver or gold platter, like putting the aspirin in a little cup in the hand. It doesn't work that way. We have AMA medical scientists who hold 4 degrees. You know, it's kind of hard to get one ahead. This guy had 4. So instead of going to Washington, D.C., where all the brains are packed, you know, it seems like that's where he's supposed to go. But he came way over here. I was telling my brother, when they go close to a lodge, the road's getting rough and chuck holes, and when they get there, they say nothing but rugs and pasteboard boxes and overcoats and look at it. Then there's a pile of rock and a pile of wood. We had a ceremony, and just about time we got started, I have an educated cousin who brought this man. And of course he brought his staff with him. The way I was told that he wants to see a medicine man. And so the medical scientist, since he holds 4 degrees, the multinational corporation, they thought he's a genius. So they bought him and hired him to look for a cure for those incurable sicknesses. So multinational corporation, they could buy anything they want. They want to buy the whole world. But one thing they cannot buy is a health. So they hired this guy to look for a medicine that will cure all these incurable sicknesses. So they sent him. And now the way they would try to scheme or seem to get this medicine is to ask a wild Indian, see, you got anything good for your toe? This one. And then they pick and they put in a plastic bag and put a price tag on it, $2.50. You got anything good for your nose? This one. Then they pick and put in plastic, put a price tag on it. Well, it doesn't work that way. So the medical science, they brought the victim. the victim was a heart victim, a heart disease. So so we took him at large, and there we hauled us stone people to Gan Oyate. Tu means birth, Gan means age, and Tipi means TZ, or stomach, or womb. See, so well, when we start closing the door, the black light comes in, and then we start making noise, and we feel the Chanuppa. So there's a Chanuppa song, and there's a full wind song, and there's a calling song, and there's a medicine song. So there's fear come in, and it doesn't speak English, but in translation, Mike could say, "What the hell's going on?" Like that. Oh, so why you howling? Why you yell at me? Yell. So Tokashla, we're only here for health and help. This man sitting here, tell him, I'm also a scientist, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm an investigator, my eyes are X-ray, I'm everything. Tell him that. So now the victim here, I will show you. And the medicine song, they call healing songs. So when you start, there's a bulb like this, light, like a bulb. And we could see the victim inside, and the frame, the whole frame. And the next thing, we could see the whole frame structure, like the skull, the vertebrae, the rib cage, like you see in the X-ray, like a little shadow, lines. Then the next thing, we see the organism, like the brain, the heart, the lung, liver, and those crooked tunnels, and kidney, and the bladder. Now the next thing, we see the whole frame, like a water. Now, at that time, the telepathic wave intelligence was going around, and while speaking, those little bubbles, like they're going around, and each one carried a little poster and marching by. So what I was doing, I was picking up labels, because this medical sign, whatever you see, they label. So that's what I was picking up. But labels don't talk to each other. That's the problem they have, see. So now here we see the whole structure mostly in liquid form. And this, he calls it the water, the water we drink, the saline, or the glucose, or the dextrose. See, this is what I was picking up. On inside, there's red cells and white cells, and there's platelets that build red or white, or the calcium, the bone, the frame, or the enamel, the teeth. And there's mines of molecules, and the mines of oil, molecules of oil. And there's a little fiber, build tissues, simple. So this is what I pick up to teach our little people. So this could be called hematology, study of blood, see. Oh, I'm not a doctor. This guy is. I'm just sitting there and not reading, see. And now what happened inside? The heart victim. Now we call Toka. Toka nobody could really translate. Only the closest how it began, we interpret pollution begins in the mind. So that toka pokes a hole in the molecules, or the genes, or the organics. So the body chemical will alleviate, or dissolve, or expels. So there is an entrance, and there is an exit. But the hole is still there. So that what toka, what happened, that toka attacks the red cell called warrior, and the white cell, the hunter. So it attacks the warrior and pokes a hole like a worm eating an apple. So when it pokes a hole like a balloon, you poke a hole in a balloon, and the air disappears, and the balloon crumbles. It's something like that. And this doctor, he called it coagulation, see. It becomes like a syrup. Oh, what happened, that toka devours, eats, and they multiply. So when the medicine man comes, it comes through the brachial tube to the lungs, and there's a tube called brachial tube. So the little tiny spark comes in, and the lung bends out like a tree, and each end there's a little pocket. So when the air goes in, it turns into a vapor, and this doctor calls it oxygen. So the toka that devours the warrior, they roll inside. And a toka peeks out and ducks down. Now you see the toka. So now that little tiny spark comes in, and it looked like a little blowtorch. It's so tiny. It looked like a blowtorch. Then it destroys the toka and expels out. And this doctor, he called it dioxide. When it goes out, it hits a light, and it forms another type of chemical. He called it nitrogen, or heat. Well, I'm not that educated, and half the time I don't know what the hell he's talking about. But anyway, like a little movie picture. And now the toka is expelled out, and the powers of full wind go in between, and no return. So that now the little tiny spark comes in and closes that hole, and then like blowing, and that oxygen blows back in, so that balloon becomes round again. Then it goes back to the tunnel again. Then it comes back to the right ventricle. So the heart is actually like 2 in 1. So it comes in to the right ventricle. Then when it squeaks, it goes the other side to the left ventricle. And the valve closes, so it will go back the other side. So when it opens, it sucks more. Then the other side, when it squeaks, it goes up to the bigger tunnel called aorta, or pulmonary, or vein, or capillars, those little tunnels. Then it goes and looks, scouts around, look for toka. So what I'm trying to tell about this, how this medicine works, I mentioned about the the toka pokes a hole in the genes, or the molecules, or the genes, or organic. But them holes were never closed. But the other body chemical will alleviate. So that hole is still there. So, for an example, I have sons who are doctors. They trace his heart disease 200 years, 2,200 years. So the medical science, they do have a record of combating against this dread disease for 2,200 years. And they haven't cured yet. Because that person is a victim, he has a heart attack. But those genes that has a hole, it's never been closed. So it goes to the next generation, there'll be 2 heart attacks. And it goes to the next generation, and there'll be 3 heart attacks. So they call it hereditary. So how this pollution begins in the mind? It begins in the mind. When Tugashala create man and woman, male and female, so the where it began, ampa, we, ampa, uchasha, we is a woman. So ampa means men or male, and we, ampa, we. We is the female. So they're always together. So what they said was, let there be a life, instead of let there be a light. So I think our first journalist, our first reporter called Genesis, see? Genesis theory, see? So theory stand theory until proved. That's their language. But anyway, let there be a life. So how far this heat goes, it goes, nobody knows. It goes into infinity. So the nucleus, the heat, how far. So you know, you hear the scientists, you taste it? Oh, here, I'm going to commit suicide. So we talk about the scientists, you hear them, we start a big bang, big blast, see? That's where they always start. But they don't really know. But anyway, that's close enough. So how far the heat goes, nobody knows, see? It goes into infinity. So the heat, there's a force behind it, and that also goes into infinity. So the force made wind, and wind makes sound, and sound like little short waves of electrical currents, like Morse code, dot, dot, dash, dash, dot, dot, like that. So those form word, and word shape form life. So that sound goes into infinity. So there is a sound in the silence. We call it thinking or thoughts. So I want to say you come here to learn about how the medicine works. So we have to get to the way we understand. So there's a lot of our people are not confused. Why? Because Tugashla gave each of us a little bitty, teensy witsy of that nucleus or the fire. So that little spark is called nucleus or atom, see? So the first scientist, like Einstein, claims he discovered the atom, but that is not so. So that nucleus, when they opened, they saw three little guys marching around, see? So the scientists gave them each a little poster, so they're marching around with their posters, labels. I'm a proton, I'm a neutron, I'm an electron, like that. But there are little guys below us, those quantums, see? So they're getting smaller and smaller, they end up knowing nothing, see? So they went the other way, see? Oh, so that nucleus, how much power to shape, form a molecule, see? So there is a mind of molecules. So I spoke about the minds of molecules 52 years ago. And no one ever thought, nor nobody understand what I'm saying. Because my English is so poor, and nobody really understands what I'm saying. But anyway, I do speak Lakota very fluently. So that's the communication. We are able to communicate and speaking from the universe of minds. See? So through these telepathic wave intelligence, we used to talk to each other by thinking. So in the universe of minds, no matter how many different shapes and forms of life there is, we speak the same mind, see? Well, we lost that, see? Now we're trying to put our head together, and when you get 2-3 head together, it's like 2-3 radio station jam, and you can't make out nothing. Like that. So it's called, this gathering like this, it's called university, see? So it's really jammed. Because when you go inside this university, you'll be under a gold dome. See? So the other night I talked about psychological language, or scientific language, or psychological language, and a legal language, and a religious language. But there's no connection between these 4 segments or 4 class of people. So there is no communication. So that's a problem we have. So now I'm trying, going all over the world, try to rededicate, reaffirm, renew ourselves. So I bumped into a lot of good people. You know, each of these people, it's like a big jigsaw puzzle, and these two fit together, but there's some missing parts here. So we all kind of bumped into each other, like that. So if we could all put together, and complete the whole picture, and we'll have the whole scenery will be back again. We will see and understand. So we jumble up all this creation, and like a jigsaw puzzle. So we're trying to piece it back together while we chop it up, see. We chop it up so finely, we had our time putting it back together. So, I really thank, like you people come from all directions. So something drove you here. And something drove us here too. And something drove me here too. But I don't know what something we call great mystery, see. So I thank you for, I have very little time to explain this, how this medicine works. So the man, after he has a doubt, this pollution begins in the mind, the man has a doubt against a creator. So Tugashla and the Holy Mother came back and the man say, who are you? Like denying who obtained those powers from them. So he denied the father and mother. So who are you? Where are the ones that give you that life and power? No. I have wisdom, I have a knowledge, I have a power, and I have a gift. So he looks around, and the man is wonderfully made. So he's just wandering around, see, to see it is the holy creation. So like going and make a Mouse country, or what do you call it, Walt Disney, that kind of, and just wandering around, see. So the man is admiring the wonders and mysteries of the Holy Father and the Holy Mother's creation, see. Hey, you can hang around here as long as you want to, or you could live here forever. That is the will of God given to man. But man misinterprets and wants to be godlike, wants to create something that God didn't create. So, but man creates nothing. The man got a funny idea one day, and he rolled a rock from a mountain. He started rolling and going faster and faster. He visualized a wheel, see. So there's a slab of rock after he messed up the altar. So he pokes a hole and draws a circle and upright it, put an axle. He had to hold that axle. He was doing okay here till he got a funny idea and invented a wheel. And he put himself to work. So, so that wheel had no brakes, so it started rolling down and it hit the bottom and broke. Well, I could make another one. I got a whole bunch of that stuff laying around here. So I could make another one. So what men create never lasts. What men create is always break. So that's how come we have junkyard everywhere, see? Well, what God creates never ends. It goes, live on and on and on. So, and just to give you a little run over all, because there are more specific details about what I'm trying to tell you. So we're going to pause here, and we're going to hear a song that drum that we lost. So the word drum, nobody knows what the drum looked like. We lost our drum 19 generations ago. So nobody knows what the drum looked like. So I've had people run around, you're making our drum, you're selling our drum, look at it. What is drum? So, you go in black country and they have drums. They have zebras and buffaloes and look at it. You go east, they have drums. You go north, they have drums. And we have drums here. So who started this big bright idea? make this boom box and looking. So who started? So nobody knows what drum looked like. Well, we lost our drum. I'll tell you that later, how it's lost.
Oh. From the things I could understand when my elders talk, the different things they talk about, what's going through my mind when I listen to them talk is when they talk about the peace pipe, they're talking about chanumpa, peace pipe, chanumpa. Cha is wood, and tu is numpa, cha numpa. Where they got that part from, not the idea, but the part where they found that part in their life, it came from this earth. There is a tree, then there is the earth, which is the rock. So originally, those two were connected, like the male and the female. So those two, when they became to surface, then that created the generation to generation to generation, the man and wife. So that's what they call a twosome in your world, the twosome. So that's where my people, that's where that come from. So they're connected from day one, the tree and the earth. And all the things that my people use comes from the earth. Everything spiritual, everything sacred comes from this earth. Tobacco, whatever it is. So that many years ago, people talked about peace. But even amongst the native people, they knew that there wasn't going to be peace. So one person understood that part. In the center of this earth, there is a light. It's like the pilot light on our stove. As long as that light burns, there won't be peace. The earth, in the middle of this earth, there's a ball of fire. Life. Life taker. Water, life taker. Was this Chanumpa? These two people, when they created life, that's the first thing that they accepted is there is life, so there's ultimately death. There is light, so there's darkness. So when my people talked about ceremony, they made everything dark before they started the ceremony. So within that darkness, they didn't see color. And even if they didn't see color, they accepted all things. They didn't see you as a white man. They didn't see you as a black man or the yellow man. They only seen a person. So by that, these are things that are very important to me. These are the things that I gathered just by listening. Just to be that part, to say that I am a good listener. I paid attention. So my part is to sing what they're talking about. I put that one into a song. What they're talking about is what I sing. So I pay very close attention when these elders talk. Because within there, I'm going to find a magic word, if you will. And from that magic word, I'm going to create another song. And if I do an honor song, I'm going to put that word in there to get more of an intense, invigorating feeling, to strengthen the mind as well as the body. That's what the whole idea, the essence of drum to me. Whenever they talk about something, I try to do that follow-up and put in the pieces I feel comfortable with, because that's all I can do. I can't talk about the things literally right off the top of my head like my elders can. So by that token, I listen and I put together these pieces that we need to be able to be that whole person. So therefore, whenever we understand something, we wait. We wait until we can put this body into motion to be able to put whatever it is that we have gathered with one of our five senses, then we can put it to work for us. But there we collect that much. We collect that much from each direction. So we pay attention to that spirit that is here all the time. Even as we talk, even as we sit in this room, there is spirits here. Regardless where we're at, the spirits are there. That's why we must be alert, we must pay attention. Because we don't have that other part, to be able to have that knowledge to take care of that spirit, the things we do is we comfort that spirit by things that we create from this. And from this, when we create that, we know that there's something that is wood. But if you leave it under that sand long enough, it's going to turn into stone, perpetual. So there's where my people got the idea of saying perpetualism. Wichoni oihanke wanilya, a life that has no end. So those are the things I gather anytime my elders talk. And I try to touch on the way I understand it. Because the mind works for us. Every one of us, our mind works for us. The way we allow it to, the things that we pick up. We go into that imaginary part. That's me. I don't expect anybody to do that part the way I do it. Because that's the only way that I could guide myself in my spiritual being. So I gather bits and pieces in my everyday life only to blend together to create a flavor for myself. A bit here is that magic word. Every one of us have that magic word. Quarterly, we talked about this. Quarterly, there are 4 quarters. Not 4 quarters to $1. No, 4 quarters, 4 directions, 4 seasons. Everything starts with 4, 4, 4. So anytime we talk about that, we remember that each one of these quarters, there is a message for every one of us. When it becomes that part, every one of us have a taste. So we gather bits and pieces to create a flavor for our taste to be strong in our everyday life. That's how I understand life. So at this time I'm going to sing another song, and then I'm going to hand this over to my big brother. I'm older, but like I said, he's bigger.
You know, the humor has always been part of the Indian world. And we have Indian people, natives to this land, are merciless on each other. The Lakota slaughters the Crow, and the Crow slaughters the Cheyenne. The Arapaho and the Shoshone are at each other's throat. It goes on, and we tell jokes about each other. But we'll leave that aside then, since I'm outnumbered. I was walking down the street the other day, and this woman came up to me. Says, "Are you the Indian? Do you mind if I call you an Indian?" I said, "I'd like it better if you called me by my name." I said, "It's Kills in a Fog." She goes, "Well, Kills?" Shortened it right away. You give nicknames like that. I said, "Well, Kills, are you the Native American Indian that's doing the reawakening around here?" I said, "Yeah, I can do that." Yeah. And she says, she asked me, "Do you mind if I ask you a personal question?" I thought, "Sure, go ahead." And she was pretty good looking. I said, "Do you mind if I ask you what sign you were born under?" And I said, "I think my mother told me it was a stop sign." That ended our conversation on this astrology or whatever it was. But, you know, a lot of people believe that we come back. We go, he gives us a different assignment, and we come back. And every time we come back, we go into a higher form of life. Now, when you come back, again, you're going to be Cheyennes. After that, when you come back again, you're going to be Lakota. And then after that, it's going to be Dakota. And then finally, you're going to be Lakota, you know? And your last trip, you'll be a Crow. I took a chance. There is the trickster called Cheda, the coyote. It sounds so much funny, more funny in my language, but I want to speak your language. One day the trickster left. Cheda left his lodge. His wife was worried about him because he didn't come back to eat, and Cheda loved to eat. So when the sun was going down over the mountain, she walked around the village. Where's that Cheda, she thought. Maybe he wandered away. He does that a lot. So she went back to her lodge. Cheda wasn't there. She began to worry a little more. The campfires came on. The buffalo meat was cooking. This will bring him. He didn't come. He didn't show up. Soon she went throughout the village. "Have you seen Cheda?" "No, I haven't seen him." She went back to her lodge. She was worried. She put the meat away. She laid down on her robe, and the dream world took her over. The next day, when she smelled the campfires again, she reached over. Cheda still wasn't there. Her worry turned to anger. "I know he's with Buffalo Woman," she said. So she runs over to Buffalo Woman's lodge. Buffalo Woman kicked her out. He wasn't there. So when the sun was up a little higher, she left the village and was walking. And there was Cheda in the water. Standing in the water, he said, "There you are, you woman. Woman, come here." She goes over there and says, "There are magical plums floating on this water. When you go to grab them, they disappear. And then at night, they go away." Fool of a dog," she said. "What are you doing splashing around in the water when the truth hangs over your head?" Then she hit him with a pan and took him home. You know? But that's the way we are. We have many paths thrown before us, and the trickster is there. The trickster works in many ways. I can come to you and say, you know, I'm going to tell you something, but don't tell her. If you accept that, you've already lied. Because if you don't hold your word to me, you've lied to me. If you listen to it and she comes over and say, did you know anything about this? You say no, you've lied again. The trickster can come to you in many forms. In your friend, through your children, sometimes even through your elders. So you got to always be aware. Like my brother says, when the Spirit comes, you got to be ready for him. And you will recognize that because of that warm feeling. But the trickster has a lot bigger playground in some of us because our minds are bigger than our heart. And that's his playground. To us, the maker of all, Abadatia, Ijikbalia, first maker, Izakachalia, grandfather, Ahegyada, father. He has many names to many of us. We have different customs and traditions. We have different songs, different dances. But yet we believe in a oneness with the Maker, Mother Earth, and us. And we believe, as Indian people, that the Maker is love. We believe that he has helpers. You might call angels. We might call something else. We believe those things because we have talked to them. There's no doubt about that. We do not compromise. If you do not believe us, that is okay. We believe that one man cannot tell another what to believe. We believe that one man cannot tell another what to do. But we believe that if we walk in his light and walk in beauty upon this sacred land, you will see it. And you will either follow us or you will be strong enough to ride beside us. As a spiritual warrior, we are all warriors. Here are two good ones. This is a sign to you, the Lakota, the great Lakota. I have respect for them. A crow sitting among them. It was like I was the only one that went to school with them at the boarding school. The only crow that they would accept there. Because I was their punching bag. Now, because I honored them and they honored me. And this is the way we believe in the Maker. We do not believe that this evil one or the trickster you call devil or Satan has horns, a long tail, carries a pitchfork and walks on hoofs. You created that. We do not believe that the Maker creates his children knowing he's going to destroy them again. We do not believe he puts them in cities and sends his angels of death and rains fire down on him. Because we believe the Maker was, is, and always will be, and he knows all. And he does not destroy. Man does that. We do not believe that he is going to take me and you and throw us in this, what you call the brimstone of fire. We don't believe that. But we do believe we create our own hell. We do believe that we will send ourselves to this place. We also believe that once we ride together, we'll always be together. That will never change. That will never change in our life. I want to share with you, when I first came to this land of the Red Earth Mother, I picked up some brochures. Shaman, medicine man. Oh, good, I'll go see them because I'm lonesome. I went to see these medicine men. Yeah, they looked like Indians. They had chokers on, they had long hair. They wore it sometimes in a ponytail, sometimes they braided like my brother. They read a book. Spend 1 week on a reservation. They come from L.A. And they were selling this sacred house. A wushpilela, we call it. We crawl into the womb of Mother Earth. The sweat is made of willows that you find down in a marsh. You cut them. You smudge them. You put them in the ground, you bend them over and you tie them together on all sides. You cover it with the animal's fur, or today, canvas, anything that is made from Mother Earth. You dig a hole. We dig it by the side of our door on the right side. I think the Lakota dig in the middle. They go in a certain way, but it's still a sweat. We take this wood, bala, we call it. We put it down. We take the rocks, we put it on there. We put fire to this wood. When the rocks are red with heat, we pick them up and we place them into that hole, into Mother Earth. Then we take the liquid of life, the veins of Mother Earth, you call rivers and water. We call the veins of Mother Earth. Just like the veins in our body. We are part of Mother Earth. We go in there naked. We sit. You may pour 4 times for the 4 directions. You may pour 7 times, a little hotter, for the 7 stars. Or whatever. Maybe you want to pray for 2 people. And what this does, what the significance of this, when you close it down, it is completely dark in there. You sweat out the impurities from your body. Then you pray. And you purify your mind, your heart, and your soul. You pray for others in there. Some pray at the same time. Others of us pray in turn. When we get through doing that, we tell the Maker, give us the strength and the wisdom and the courage to walk on this sacred land, to walk on our Mother, to sleep on our Mother with respect and pride. We come back out. We immediately put our body to water, washes away the old and locks in the new. That is the sweat to us. In you may have read in this holy book you call the Bible, lest a man be reborn again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. We have been doing that for ages. This is the native to this land. We do that. We have love. We have compassion. We have strength. And what we're doing now is sharing that with you, brothers and sisters. I see brothers out there and sisters. They have the same. And from this day forward, I kills in the fog. I was he hene malapish. Will ride beside you, all of you. I will share. I will share because when I share these gifts the Maker has given me and leave me with nothing, that is when I'm the most powerful of all. Alone, I am nothing. With Him, I fear nothing. And you will see that. Take this love we're giving you. Take this compassion. The compassion to pray for your enemy. That you will walk in a true light and you will walk in beauty upon this sacred land. Aho.
Aho. Thank you, brother. Piloyapalo. Everything is a version. Because there are no two minds alike, everybody has a different version of different things. Different version of song, different version of being, life. Different version of what songs mean. So my version of the drum itself is the thunder. You heard my brother talk about the drum as a heartbeat. The way I feel anytime I sing for the 4 seasons. And every season is to allow people to understand each other a little bit more. It's time to go to sleep. It's time to wake up. To me, the thunder and the drum are very similar. When the drum, they put this drum to this earth and they hit this drum, it vibrates. That's in the spring of the year. That's when the plants, it's time to get up. The animals that are sleeping, hibernating, it's time to wake up. That's how I feel whenever I sing. I sing for all the 4 directions. So each time they talk, my elders, once again, it's not a sense of dispute, but it's just a sense of something similar, as well as the cultures are similar. But how did that culture, the Orient, how did that culture become so close to the Lakota culture? Anytime we're in the darkness, wherever we might be, all of a sudden something comes about. Like fireworks, sparkles, different colors. That's the same thing that the Orient people have. And that's what we have in our culture, ceremony. So bits and pieces that I gather is what I'm sharing with you. It's something that I experienced. So anytime I talk to you, I'm talking to you of my experience, trying to walk on this path. And nothing more than common sense. That's what I try to convey with my common sense.
mention about this drum, who started this big bright idea? This noisemaker. So like 100 monkeys, one island over here washed their potatoes, and whoever told them the other guys to wash their potatoes. It was something like that. Well, chon chira. Chon chira. Chon is a tree. Chira is a bucket. So they say when we lost our drum, they say there's a sound coming from a band one morning. So the scout, one of the scouts got up and, I'm going to see where that sound comes. I want to investigate, So he took off and never came back for 4 days. 4 days later he came back, and when we went to that bend, the creek has another bend, and it seemed like that sound came from it. So when he went to the bend, there's another bend over there, and that sound was over there. So the bend, the sound echoed through those valleys. So he walked, took him 4 days to find out where the sound come from. And they say it was a woodpecker pounding a hollow tree. And that echo re-echoed through the valleys. So he came back, on the way he saw a log. So he pounded it, and that sound came on the both ends. So the people who made pouch, so they dug the earth and they put the buffalo hide, the fur side down, and they filled with sand. Then that'll hold the seed. So when it's dry, they scrape the hair off and trim the edges, and they have a pouch to pound meat or fruits. So somebody put a rim around it and stretched it and used for windshield. So when they go hunting, when it's wind or snow or winds, cold wind, they put that and they sit behind it, and it's a windbreaker. And the fur is on there. So they use that fur to crawl among the herds. And they think that the seal was an animal. So they're not afraid. So they go close enough and send the arrow through. So that is the way it was used. And somebody tapped on it, it had a good sound. So somebody had an idea, why don't we stretch this over that hollow tree? And so that's where they stretch the hide over that hollow tree, and it makes a beautiful sound. So the story goes on like that. Each time somebody had little another different idea. So they made this drum. And they say they don't know how to name it. So they say a, he, she, or she, he. Name it drum. And what drum means, chan chera, wooden bucket. So he, or he, she name, wooden bucket. So the drum, the definition of the drum is coined by he, she, or she, he. how this he-she became. They say there's a little spark comes into the cell from a head and a foreleg, vertebrae, hind leg, and a tail. So she was born 9 moon inside. So when a life comes out of the cell, 9 moon thereof is your second birthday. So she is born inside. Well, when she came out, he acted and talked like he. So she, he. Or he was born inside. He was born 9 moon. Well, when the life comes out of cell, he was born or inside. So when he comes out of cell, 9 moon thereof is his second birthday. But when he comes out of cell, he acts and talks like woman or female. So that's why he's called he, she. I think it's called gays or something like that. So the United States government, now they have that big problem. 2 pairs or 2 males or two women, 2 females. So anyway, it is not their fault. But what happened in the mind, the genes, they have a hole inside them. So that's how come nobody really understands, because nobody understood in the first place. So anyway, this he named this drum. So when you say drum, what it means wooden bucket, see. So now you go Africa, everybody has a drum over there. You go east, yellow race, they have drums. You go north, all the white people have drums. And we, the red nation over here, wear drums. So who started this? Look at, who started this drum? Now we make artificial skins and plastics. No matter how we make it, we still call it drum, see. So now the real drum. The real drum that we lost was a voice of God and a voice of our Holy Mother. So the whole universe, the universe of minds. I mentioned the fire. Ampawi, man and woman, or all this together. So what they said, let there be life. So there's a force. Force made wind, wind made sound, and sound made word, and word shape form life. That we lost. It was given to us free, but we abused the fire. So the knowledge is a woman, the wisdom is a creator, and the knowledge is a woman. She is the temple of God who gave birth and life to all living. So that power means generation. And the gift is a talent and love, the way we're shaped. Some people fly, and some walk on fours, some swim, and some, the tail end, we walk on 2 legs. See? God created heaven and earth and everything and every stuff. These are high-tech words I learned from John Harvard. John goes like this and see the whole world in front of him. But everything was beyond explanation. So he couldn't explain nothing. So he called it stuff and things. So I learned these high-tech words. But in the language I speak, there's no word for stuff and things. See? So that freedom, that will, we abuse it. See? So we shorten our time. So now we set our own death time. So when Tugashla came and man messed up the altar, let there be mountains, so the whole earth started to shake. And that time they say the man used to wear silk lights. Could be called veil, see? So he lost that veil. So after he damaged the whole altar, there's like a freon, because the earth jammed, and like a freon blowing here, and the snow is blowing here, and cold air, and hot air blowing, ashes is blowing here, and lava spooning out. So those people start running away. The heavy ones fall in this, and they suffocate, and they die, called dinosaurs. And so Tugashla turned his fire on, and everything electrified, and those sparks bumped into each other, so you see those crater holes. So at the same time, we talk about molecules, or we talk about nucleus. Now, inside the proton, the neutron, and when you cross, the electron jump, see? So we talk about like a mechanic. We have a pulse here, positive over here, negative over here. When you cross the electron, the electricity comes. If we could hold this electron, these are all Greek words. You hold long enough, called electricity, see? So those jumping around, that's what causes the power to turn this rock rolling, see? So the man, when Tugashla turned his fire on, they start spinning, see? And the man was magnetized. So he was, in other words, he was electrocuted. So he couldn't move. So finally he said, Uncle, okay, Uncle, you're God. I'm a shrimp. So, so please let me stay here. And when my people not knowing where they're going, they'll be cold, they'll be hungry, they'll be sad, they'll be in fear, and the death will follow them. Because man create that doubt against the Creator. So that since you have doubt against me, that doubt will follow your heels for the days of your life. So the four-legged and the winged and all what they call animals, they came back and they, hey, let's go back and help this poor chap. He'll never make it. Because he was sitting there with his birthday suit on, see? So let's take our rope and put it around him. So the arrow was sent, and the blood spilled and become petrified, become eon, many eons ago. See? So they become Chanumpa. So that's how come we wear skins and fringes, sinews for throat and bones for needle, and the bone, the shoulder blades for knife. So there are tools. And that buffalo or the deer, the four-legged, he eats blade of grass and chop it out, drinks water, and turn into flesh and blood. So I just want to tell you how we lost our drum. So the spirit, now he's a spirit. I am a spirit. I am sacred. So mother goes to sleep. So the whole world is her eyes and hearing and the sense of smell, the essence that comes out of this earth, and the taste and the feeling. So she knows everything. So we are part of it. So every move we make, she knows. So because we are part of it, we're part of that fire called spirit. Oh, in sign language, in Greek word, psychic means soul or spirit. That OR is a missing link, see? So there are, in this language, there are a lot of words are missing. Links. There are missing links. So these links that are missing we call hyphen or bridge or negatives, see? So these negatives are called OR, NOR, neither, either, maybe, if, but, assume, probability. You know, the words are getting longer and longer. See? You could link many negatives as you want. You could link 10 negatives links together, and you could coin a word, or these are called $40 words, or $10 words, or $40 words. But if you analyze it, it doesn't mean nothing. So if you use those $40 words, and if you don't understand, you're a dummy. See. So I'm trying like hell and try to pronounce one. I almost tied my tongue in knots, so I quit. I try to speak English. I end up speaking Latin, Greek, Hebrew, and I end up speaking my own language. So I'll mention about this drum, how we lost our drum. So there is a time we're going to hear the voice of God, and we're going to hear our Holy Mother's voice. And there they say, every living has a rhythm of a heartbeat. Like rabbits, their heart go about 60 miles an hour. So each rhythm have a different rhythm. So we have a different song and different rhythms, see? But all in all, the rhythm, the heartbeat, is the main rhythm. It will rhythmize all living together. So then we will resurrect from death and all living, and we're going to hear the voice of God, what it sounds like, and what our Holy Mother voice sounds like. So it will echo in the solar, where there's infinity, there's quiet there, where there's peace lives. So it will echo, and they say, the star people, the cardinal points of the universe, there will be countless star people will be coming, and they're going to sing a brand new song. And we're all going to hear all at the same time. And our tears will be white. And we're going to sit our grandma lap and our back against her bosom, and that fear that we create will be gone forever. And she will hold us by the armpit and set us in front of her, and then Tukashla will appear. And the first time we're going to see his face. Those who see his face will live forever. So we come here to talk about the Chinampa. The whole world was paradise. See, not just located and the very tip of Mediterranean Sea. So the whole world was a paradise. So the drum we lost 19 generations ago. So this Chanumpa that we know, all we know is as far as back as 19 generations. So a smart aleck comes along. Well, I want to ask you something. Do you Indians learn how to pray after we brought the Bible? Do you know how to pray? Or do you know God? Or do you ever pray? Or do you know there's a God? Do you believe in God? Do you would accept Jesus as your Lord, Savior, God? And you believe in the holy pigeon and them? So before we even answer the first one after another. So I said, no, we don't talk about God. We talk with Him. So we have people that can ask questions. And so you believe in Chanumpa. So before they brought you that Chanumpa, how do you pray? We don't need no Chanumpa, and we don't pray, because grandfather and grandmother walked here. So at that time, nobody ever dies. Nobody ever grew old. Nobody ever got sick, because this was the paradise. What God created is perfect, and just, and holy. See? But pollution begins in the mind. See? How?
Oh, from my understanding of this culture, my people, from my understanding of this culture of my people, if you ask me to say that in the same way again, I wouldn't be able to say it. When people have a voice to express themselves, we as the Lakota people, every day of our life is a challenge. As I mentioned so many times to those of you that listen to me talk and different things, we live to challenge the elements of nature, challenge of pain. But again, my big brother, he talked about a song to revive ourselves, a song to strengthen ourselves. So to be able to say I'm a singer, to me, that's saying a lot. So my brother over here, he's trying to show me that he's got all his sacred things in there, but I know he's got a sandwich in there too somewhere. He's got a sandwich in there somewhere, some coffee. I know that. 7-Up or something. So therefore, he handed these to me, and he said, I want you to sing a song with this. He said, sing a song with this one. So at this time, I'm going to sing a song with this. Dawson, have a friend back there, sitting right there. o loa gele a hia na ha migelusta ki azil uyamana ho ha o tohung pat hakakte. So at this time I'm going to sing a song with this gourd. Because to be a singer you have to be able to fill that part. To fill that part, because that's my brother, he said, oh, this my brother here, he's singer. So sing a song with this one. So I'm ready for that. Oh. Yo no say no, yo no say no, yo we no, yo one day, yo no, yo yo no, yo one day, yo no, yo no, yo one day, yo no, yo yo no, yo one day, yo no, yo no, yo no, yo yo no, yo no, hey hey, yo no, hey hey, no way. Yo no, yo no, yo no, yo one day, yo no, yo yo no, yo one day, yo no, yo one day, yo no, yo yo no, yo one day, yo no, yo no, yo no, yo yo no, hey hey, yo no, hey hey, no when. Yo no, yo no, yo no, yo one day, yo no, yo Yana, yo one day, yana, yo one day, yana, yo yana, yo one day, yana, hey,
Oh. What we're going to do now is we're going to unite all of you, all of us. And what I'm going to ask my big brother to do down there is I have some tobacco here. Not the kind of tobacco you're used to, but real tobacco, untouched by chemicals. He's going to, as you walk by, he's going to give you a pinch of it. And then my brother here, I'm going to light the sage. And you put it on you 4 times. And then I will mark you with the red Mother Earth. And then you go outside and you put this tobacco, just put it right on Mother Earth. Every time we take something, we got to give something back. Tobacco is sacred to us. When after a long raiding party or a hunting party, we come back. We like to sit with our women in our lodge, love them, and then draw on a tobacco, on a pipe. Or we come back and we like to go sit with our elder, brag to him, light the pipe with him, show him the respect so that he can tell his story of how he went on these raiding parties or hunting parties or out on a vision quest. The tobacco is sacred when we light it. The smoke carries our words to the Maker. We feel. We also feel words are sacred. Words can hurt human beings for the rest of their life. It is better to be cut that'll scar over and heal. But with words, when you cut someone's heart, it stays with them. So think, silence. Before you speak those words, it's like the wind. Once you let them go, you can't get them back. Do yourself this justice. Don't be like the trickster and splash around in the water or search. The truth is within you. Open yourself up. Open your heart up. Do not be afraid. We are just tools of the Maker. We are just servants of Him. We have come. Oh, we have come here for a reason. We are not thrown together by chance. The Spirit does not work that way. Like I said the first time I talked to you, He is not a dysfunctional God. You know, He is real. And these things we do are sacred to us. And it's never changed through generations. Some people say, you know, can you eat meat on Friday? Hell, I eat meat all the time. That's not a sin. What we do is the same forever. And it is sacred to us. So after I light this and after we smudge what we're going to work with, then we'll let you come up and then file right on out and put this tobacco on the ground and take a little break, and my brother here will call you in when we're ready to start again. Bear with us.